Hi, it's Sam here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing another leg workout and I'll be focusing on quadriceps and compound movements. So if you want to see everything I do within compound movements to hit the quads really hard, keep watching through all the exercises. And if you want the summary, it's going to be on my Instagram at Physique Philosopher. In a different gym again today. It's Bodyworks in Tottenham, so I'm trying this out for legs. They've got a separate room for legs equipment, so you'll see all the extra stuff, all my isolation moves in that room after the main exercises. Ask me any questions in the comments. I'm going to get warmed up. Let's go for a heavy leg day. First exercise for today is the hack squat. It's on a different machine to what I'd usually use, so the weights might be a little bit off. So first set is a bit experimental. I've got 5 plates, that's 5 20s on each side of it. And let's go for set 1. And that is not working, so I'm going to find another machine. It's knocking the plates against the top of it when I reach the top of the movement, testing it there. So because of my height, this machine ain't suitable. I'm going to move on to another one. It's just an example of dealing with what you've got. Let's set up again. I've just tried this other hack squat they got, and my feet are sticking well off the end of the platform for me to get the kind of angle that I'm looking for my quads. So no hack squats today. And this is just an example of what you have to deal with in real life when you try a different gym. So I'm going to have a rethink and let's find another exercise to begin with. Okay, leg press instead. I'm just getting warmed up on the lightweight to see how I get on with this machine. Again, it being different, but I do need to get on with this. Yeah, that feels good. I'm going to treat that as a warm-up. I'm happy with this machine. I'll load it up properly. So I've just got 6 plates on each side of here. So 240 kilos plus whatever the sled weighs. It's really not that much. The reason why people can leg press way more than they can squat is because they're not dealing with the balance, but even more noticeably, you're not lifting your own body weight as well. So heavy leg presses are not uncommon at all, but I'm going with it steady because I don't normally use this exact machine, and when there's anything different like that, it's best to go steady. And I am doing it in a peculiar fashion to really focus on the quads. So I've got my feet low and my heels together to focus on the quads here rather than so much the glutes and hamstrings. I want quality reps. I want to feel that I'm safe on this machine, and I'm going to get started just with the 6 plates on each side. Little bit achy on the knee there, but I can go heavier. So that was a lot of reps. Okay, I'm loaded up with 7 plates each side now. Proper set 2. I'm getting really good knee flexion there, making me confident that I'm really working the legs and not everything else. And I'm getting settled in for set 3, and it's actually okay to be doing slightly higher reps on lower body. So picking a weight that means that you are going a little bit lighter than you could go, but failing at a higher load of reps, so sort of 12, 13, 14 and beyond. That's because of the slightly different ratios of fast and slow twitch muscle fibers in the upper body and the lower body. It's very common to go slightly lower weight and slightly higher rep on lower body exercises. Anyway, set 3, here we go. I had to be careful re-racking that. It's got very narrow chocks to put the brakes into that. I had to be careful at the end of the set. Okay, next up, I'm showing the hammer strength V. Next up, I'm showing the hammer strength V squat machine. So I have to say, I really like hammer strength. They're just really, really sturdy built. Very rarely get damaged. Nothing overcomplicated about them. I've relied on them a lot, especially for back exercises. So anyway, my feet do have to go slightly off the platform with this for it to feel right. But I'm keeping the feet fairly close together to focus on quads here. Take the brake off. Set 1. Oh dear. I could go a bit heavier, but I'm going to leave it at that because 13 reps is good for legs, and that is hard working. It's really feeling it just on my quads there, with my feet close together, and keeping my lower back pressed into the seat of the machine. set 2. Yeah. Go. So I've settled on this as my next exercise. It's another piece by hammer strength. I don't even know what they're calling it, but it's an opportunity for me to do a unilateral movement, so each leg working independently. It's nice to include something like that in every muscle group in every workout, but yeah, it doesn't say the name of this. I don't know the name of this. Maybe the chicken leg destructor 5000. I don't know. But what I'm going to do is just one set each leg so you can see how it works, and then skip that bit, the rest of this exercise for the video, because it'll be very boring if you're watching 6 to 8 sets of exactly the same thing. What you will notice here is the interesting resistance profile of this machine. So it actually gets harder at the very end of the leg extension, because this is just on a swing, and it's just on a swing and there's no cable, so it's getting the most resistance against gravity with those plates there as it arcs up to the finish, and you'll see when I start moving that what I mean. So I'm going to start with my left leg, and I recommend whenever you do unilateral work where you're doing each side as a separate set, that you start with your weaker side, so that always gets priority to keep that balance. Anyway, I'll shut up and get on with it. And the other side, so that I'm getting good knee flexion. I've got the seat quite far forward, so it's a little bit of a struggle to get my foot in to the bottom, where it's a little bit crushed in there. But I'd rather that than be bouncing off the stopper and taking the tension off at the end of each set. At the end of each rep, rather. Right, I'm going to crack on with the rest of these on my own. Wish me luck, and I'll rejoin you at the next exercise. So this is the room of leg isolation stuff I was talking about. How cool is this? They got every standing and seated leg extension or curl that you could imagine. So I'm going to start off on the leg extensions as we're focusing on quads. Let's take this back a little bit. Usually have to find one that's going to mean that my knees are at the edge, yet being that bit taller than normal. Yeah, that's suitable for me. And up the weight a bit. I'm really feeling it now. It's tough. That's to the bottom of the first section of the stack here, which should be quite enough after those 3 exercises so far. I can certainly feel it in my quads. Anyhow, leg extension set 1. Set 2. And set 3, here we go. Oh, I can do one more of these. One more of these, rather. Start to lose my breath and can't talk anymore. Last one, leg extensions, let's go. Drop set. Not having that few reps. And put drop set into it. Moving on. Okay, now we're back to the compound exercises. I'm going to take a look at the front squat. Now the front squat, you don't really see people training that much anymore, and I think that's basically because leg development and strength has moved on so much from back in the day that now people's shoulders sort of giving in before their legs are done working out the weight that they would be doing on the front squat. I still quite like it as an exercise, so what I do to get around that effect of the legs getting too strong for the shoulders balancing it on the front is the pre-exhaust principle, which is why I did the leg extensions to hit the quads in isolation a bit more before coming to this, because it means that my legs will be worn out before my shoulders give up balancing it. So I haven't got that much weight on, and it's still going to be effective for it, but with the pre-exhaust, the front squats are back. So there's two ways of holding it on the front. You can do it like this way, like in the Olympic lifting, or you can put it between your thumbs crossed over like this, which I find easier. So I'm going to do it like this. You make sure that the markings on the bar are centre with your neck, so it's going to be level each side. Then grip on with your thumbs, putting it up onto your delts, under your chin there. Step back, and you squat without leaning over so much, and it puts more emphasis on your quads. Here we go. And set 2, get myself in position. I'm going to hit up my last set now, then have a little chat about what's next. And I got the safety bars there to catch it as I'm going. Truly failure there, and the quads are done. And that is everything I was going to do today on quads. So what you saw there was 4 compound exercises focusing on quads, making the most of the last one by slipping in the leg extensions to isolate and pre-exhaust them more before one that's a bit more precarious, and I wanted to get advantage from lighter weight on with those front squats. So it'd be a good routine for quads, but I was improvising somewhat because those hack squat machines here weren't working for me. So I know that for future. I like the hack squat at Zone, or I also really like the Cybex one. That feels even heavier, and they got that down at Muscle Works down at Bethnal Green. So that's where I'll do my hack squat stuff, but here was particularly nice to use the hammer strength B squat one and that one with the legs independently. So it's good to keep my training fresh and a bit of variety, and take that opportunity to show you all some completely different exercises to usual. So doing much the same on here. This is a machine for calves, so as I turn around here you'll see just about the foot pedal. It's one that presses just for calves, so it feels very similar to improvising with a horizontal leg press and doing calves like I normally do. So I'm just going to do first set here on this, put the weight up to about 100. actually put the weight up a little bit more, 125. And that feels really nice. Like anything you can do with calves where you're sat down, but your thighs are out, allows for easier blood flow to and from the calves, which creates a better pump and pushing the nutrients to the muscle, the blood. That's just a little extra, me taking the opportunity to use a different machine just because it's here and for variety. So now that I'm here, I'm settled in here, I'm going to do 3 more sets of this, going a bit heavier. I'll take you through a different angle there, and then we'll have a little round up at the end. Here she is, and you can see properly. I'll put the seat right back, so I won't be pressing it with my quads. They're already well done. Legs just about straight, and I push it. The calves just there. I really feel it now. Bending over like that gave me a little cramp in my abs there, but I couldn't resist the opportunity to give the calves a ride on something different. It's got the little diagram there, it's pointing out the soleus, but really the soleus is hit more with seated calf raises where you have your knees bent and the foot on the block at the bottom. That's what hits the soleus more when it comes to calves isolation exercises. But this really isolates them really nicely. And it's not going to give you those awful scratches on your shoulders that you tend to get from the standing calf raise machine. So I think it might be my first time of trying this one. It's by Life Fitness. I rate this. Set 3. Okay, that was a clean 20 reps, so looky here. That's 125. I'm going to put the whole stack on and do some ego lifting. It's what the people want to see. It's what the people want to see, the full stack moving and a bit of ego lifting. So give me a little breather. We'll do the whole lot. Do the whole lot in the calves there. It's what the people want. Yeah, I felt like leaning backwards was less likely to give me an abdominal cramp going on there, so I'll lean backwards for this one. Do the whole damn lot, make it a drop set, and we'll call it a day. That was sloppy. Anyway, I can make more of this part of the set. Oh, 2-stage drop set, or 3-stage rather. Oh, that's your lot. Bear with me and we'll have a little chat and round it all up for today. As usual, taking a few minutes just to calm down, reflect on the session, and round up for you guys there. So that was a great session. I feel like I got off to a bit of a sloppy, uncertain start with those hack squats, but if you're bashing off the top of it before you're fully extended on that first one, and if the platform's not right for the second one, I just saw no sense in trying to make the best of that when I had other equipment to work with that's going to work my quads hard in any case, but without me, you know, being conscious of something else or avoiding something else distracting from my effort in the sets. So I'm glad I worked around that, and I know what equipment to use where for future. I'm happy to have reintroduced a couple of exercises that I haven't done for ages to introduce them to you lot there. So that was those 3 other compound exercises. And it's also not normal for me to do calves at the end of training legs, because I feel like I can't go full force on them if I'm already battered on my hardest other training for the cycle. But I think having a different piece of equipment just kind of kept my enthusiasm and concentration there at the end of the workout, so I really enjoyed that. So put it all together, and that's a great session. And I like switching it up, being in a different location. And this has been a really long-term kind of gym for me. When I first came to London, I used Muscleworks down at Bethnal Green when it was the old Hague Street one. And then my main gym for several years was this one, Bodyworks Tottenham. And then it was when I got to know people at Zone a few years ago that I settled in there for most of my sessions. But where I'm based now, it's still pretty easy to get to this one, so I see myself using this quite regularly and enjoying the space they've got here and a few different bits of kit and seeing a few familiar faces. So I bumped into a guy earlier who I always admired years ago because he always was like shredded year round, and I didn't really want to intrude on his workouts, so I didn't ask him what he was doing or anything. But people used to say about him that all he ate was chicken and broccoli. I'm like, yeah, that'll do it. I don't even know whether that's true or not. That's what they just used to say about him, and he was shredded like all the time, and I really like that look. But yeah, I don't know if that's true, but I think if I was going to do something similar to that as a year-round thing, I'd use like red meat and a green vegetable that's not one of the cruciferous ones, because it would make you too gassy. I'd probably go for like beef and asparagus if I was going to do that for a sustained period of time, because you can't go that low fat, because fat is essential in your diet, but you can go on the lower side of it if you just mix up the cuts of beef and alternate between the lean ones and the fatty ones. So if I was going to do something like that, to be just as shredded, but do it the healthy way, I would do something like, after the workouts, the silver side or the sirloin, and then before bedtime, like the ribeye and the asparagus, and that could be all dry and shredded like all the time. Which is kind of what I prefer. If I wasn't trying to grow, I would just like keep myself in like crazy condition all the time. But it's not as hard as it's made out to be. But that was just some thoughts that came to me today. So I saw that guy that I remembered who was always supposedly chicken and broccoli. But yeah, a few other familiar faces here, and I know some of my other friends like to train here, so it might be a good place to do a little bit of a collaborative workout or a battle on chest day or something fun like that. Definitely the next video that I have in mind to make is one for advice over the Christmas period with food. I've been thinking it through and what's most balanced and what's most helpful for most people, and I've got a great idea for a video in mind to put up in the next day or two on that kind of topic, now that everyone's going home for Christmas and looking forward to a bit of time with family and want to enjoy it, but still want to keep their fitness and bodybuilding kind of a little bit under control. So that's the next video idea. If you have any other questions or great ideas, just make sure to put them in the comments, and consider subscribing if you like the workouts and the explanations in my other videos, or want to stay in touch. If you want to get in touch directly, then go by Instagram. It's the same name on Instagram, Physique Philosopher, and you can contact me directly there. And I hope you all have a great week pre-Christmas. Cheers.